Hi guys, welcome to Safe Space. This is a weekly Q&A where I answer your questions about dating, relationships, sex, mental health, all those questions that you probably always wanted answers to, but you were never really quite sure who to ask. This week, one of you asked, how can I let someone in after a broken heart? First, I want to say it's admirable of you to ask. If you're wondering, I'm going to tell you it's probably not time yet. If you have to ask if you're ready to date or to let someone else in, then the answer is no. That doesn't mean that it will be that way forever. Trust me. You will feel ready again to let someone in. You will feel like love is worthwhile again. I promise you that. After heartbreak, time is your best friend. I know there's a desire to jump right back in. And especially as women, we feel beholden to these biological clocks that we don't have control over. And that makes perfect sense. But you do need time and space to heal after a relationship ends. In order to let someone else in, you have to really get close and comfortable with your protective mechanisms. So, how have you kept people out since your breakup? Do you feel like you're pushing people away? Do you feel like you're not even entertaining the idea of flirting or dating or anything that's connected to love? Do you feel like you're just emotionally shutting down or even numbing yourself out? If any of these protective mechanisms or other protective mechanisms are happening, you don't need them to go away fully, but you do need to be aware of them because you're going to need to talk about them with the person that you're interested in. Self-protection after a breakup is natural. I can't normalize that enough. I'm glad that you want to protect yourself after a breakup, but you don't have to do it forever. In order to let your walls down, you need to make sure that you're doing so with a safe person. The worse or the harder the heartbreak was, the harder it's going to be to let someone else in unless they're really safe and secure. You are your own compass and you can trust yourself. There's often this belief after a heartbreak that we can't trust ourselves to make good decisions or we can't trust ourselves to let good people in. And that's not true. Maybe that was true before that relationship simply because you didn't know what an unhealthy or unfit relationship looked like. But that breakup taught you something. So hold on to that. Learn from that last relationship. Learn what went well, learn what didn't go well, and take that messaging into your next dating and relationship experience. Before you trust others, you have to start to rebuild that trust with yourself. That's not the same as that gaslighty statement that says you have to love yourself before you can love someone else. That's not true. You do have to start to trust yourself though, because if you're not trusting yourself, if that trust isn't coming from within, you're going to outsource that trust. You're going to seek external confirmation or external validation that someone or something is right for you. You're going to leave dates asking, how does that person feel about me? Do they like me? Instead of, do I even like them? Are they a good fit for me? If you're outsourcing your trust or your relational guidance, then you're not using your own internal compass and you're just going to land yourself back into another unfit relationship. You have the ability to recognize what does and does not work for you in relationships, but you have to consciously do the work. You have to think about these things while you're dating. You have to talk about these things with the people you're dating. You have to make those lessons a part of your relational landscape because if you don't, you're bound to repeat those errors. I hate to call them errors, but you get what I'm saying. Love also requires risk. Without risk, there's no intimacy. Intimacy is born within the unknown. Intimacy is that security and the stability that comes from the unknown. It's really scary diving off the deep end and opening yourself up to possible hurt. But without doing so, you're never going to have a deep and meaningful connection, right? It's within those unknowns that love and intimacy and stability can grow. And not only grow, but thrive. The more you step into the deep end and take those chances and receive positive feedback from the person that you're with, like deeper relationships or more consistency, more proactive communication, that's going to reinforce this idea that taking risks within your love life is scary, but worth it. You don't need to be 100% healed to be ready for a relationship. I hate hearing that as a therapist. If you are someone who's consciously doing the work, and I don't just mean like reading the self help books and journaling and working out, I mean really taking a cold, hard look at yourself and the ugly parts of your inner world and your flaws, you're going to be okay. Right? You have enough information to head into a new relationship, to head into the unknowns, to take the risk and to land on your feet. If you can get to a point where you're okay knowing that you might get hurt because you know that you'll be okay in the end, that's going to be your best bet. Good luck.